Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are going way back in time to decode a kind of lost language of friendship. It's hidden in these centuries-old illustrations called emblems, which were basically the visual memes of their day, and they were packed with meaning.
I know, it seems like a weird question, right? But believe it or not, these old school symbols hold some surprisingly timeless wisdom about one of the most important bonds in our lives. So let's just dive right in and see what we can find.
Okay, so this single image right here is our first big clue. Think of it like our Rosetta Stone for understanding this whole visual language. We're going to break it down, piece by piece, and unlock its secrets.
First up, we're talking about the very foundation of friendship. What makes a connection strong enough to actually last? Well, according to this emblem, the answer is literally in the architecture of this arch. Now, what's really fascinating here is what you don't see. Look really closely at the drawing. The artist on purpose left out something crucial, the mortar. So this arch is just standing on its own, kind of defying gravity. How in the world is that possible?
Well, the secret is in the stones themselves. See, each one is meant to symbolize a person of real character, somebody who has already done the work on themselves. They've been perfectly cut and polished through their own efforts, way before they ever came together.
And because they're so well formed as individuals, when they do come together, they fit seamlessly. This isn't some forced connection. It's a friendship that's built on a natural affinity and just a deep mutual respect. They just click. And that lack of mortar? That's the real kicker. It signifies a genuine bond, totally free from self-interest or, what we might call networking today. This arch stays standing even when the rest of the building around it has crumbled into dust. It's this powerful idea of a friendship that can withstand any disaster, any misfortune.
So here's the crucial takeaway. When friendships are built on that solid foundation of individual character and virtue, they create a bond that's so strong, it can literally do the impossible, just like stones hanging in midair.
Okay, so now that we've got the foundation down, let's explore what these kinds of friendships actually produce. Because it's not just about getting through tough times, it's about actively helping each other grow and become better people.
These two emblems give us such a powerful contrast. On one side, you've got this vision of a fruitful, really supportive friendship. And on the other, you see one that's way more fragile and superficial. Let's break down what they're trying to tell us. And here is that difference, just laid out so beautifully. A real friendship is a partnership, right? Two people intertwine and they create something bigger and better than the sum of their parts. But a superficial one, well, it's hollow. It's a connection that barely exists, and it can be broken with the absolute slightest pressure. And here's another amazing take on that same exact idea. Ancient writers noticed that palm trees only grow good, sweet fruit when they grow really close together, even in totally barren soil. If they're alone, they struggle. But together, they thrive. I mean, what a perfect symbol for how good friends bring out the absolute best in each other. All right, let's move on to the ultimate tests of a strong bond. We're talking about unwavering loyalty and that incredible, unconquerable strength that can only come from true unity. This emblem, wow, it carries a really profound message. The title basically translates to friendship that lasts even after death. The idea here is that a true friend's support, their influence, their memory, it continues to help us grow and thrive long, long after they're gone. This ancient piece of wisdom from the Roman historian Saliust just perfectly captures the power of unity. And it was a concept so important that they'd visualize it through these powerful myths, like the story of Geryon. So, the legend goes that Geryon wasn't actually one giant with three bodies. He was three brothers who were in such perfect agreement, in such perfect concord, that they seemed to be a single, invincible being. And they were only defeated after somebody managed to sow discord between them, breaking that unity. But this principle isn't just something out of mythology. The Roman general Sertorius actually demonstrated it to his army with this powerful, real-world story that is just as relevant today. So he brings two horses out in front of his troops. He has the strongest soldier try to pull the horse's entire tail out all at once, and he can't do it. But then, the weakest man in the army comes up and easily plucks the hairs out one by one. The lesson was crystal clear. Together, they were an invincible force, but divided, they could be picked apart with ease. So, after looking at all these beautiful, centuries-old symbols, what does all of this mean for us right here, right now? Let's bring this whole journey home.
I mean, let's really think back to that stone arch. Are our modern friendships built on that same solid ground of virtue and mutual support? Are they strong enough to stand on their own without that mortar of convenience or self-interest holding them together?
You know, history is filled with these incredible stories of loyalty, like the one about the friend who offered to take a prisoner's place on execution day, just having absolute faith his friend would return. In our world today, what does that kind of loyalty even look like?
These emblems really do challenge us to look past what's just convenient or what's in it for us. They push us to ask what is truly valuable, what is truly lasting in the relationships we choose to build with other people.
You know, maybe this 17th century poem really gets to the heart of what we've been rediscovering today. Friendship isn't about personal gain. It's about comfort. It's about shelter. It's about just being there for each other through everything.
Thanks for joining me on this explainer. The symbols and the language we use to talk about friendship might have changed dramatically since the 16th century, but that fundamental human search for a true, lasting connection, well, that's forever new.